Hey, everybody. Welcome. And thank you for tuning into USA Triathlon's 2020 Paralympic team announcement. Very exciting day. My name is Bob Babbitt, USA Triathlon and Ironman Hall of Famer, co-founder, Challenge Athletes Foundation, and USA Triathlon Foundation trustee. I'm here today, an honor to introduce this amazing team. So without further ado, these are the 17 incredible athletes who will be representing the United States in triathlon this summer at the Tokyo Paralympic Games. Athletes, go ahead and wave as I say your name. Elizabeth Baker and her guide, Jillian Elliott. And we got Mr. Jamie Brown. Kyle Kuhn and his guide, former Olympian, Mr. Andy Potts. Haley Dans. Amy Dixon and her guide, Kirsten Sass. Kelly Elmlinger. Kendall Gretsch. Mr. Chris Hammer. Eric McElvaney. Grace Norman. Elisa Seeley. Brad Snyder with his guide, Greg Billington. And of course, Melissa Stockwell. We're also joined today by Rocky Harris, a USA Triathlon CEO, Amanda Duke-Boulay, USA Triathlon Paralympic Program Director, and Deidre DeLilly, Group Manager, Sponsorship, Integration, and Auto Shows for Toyota Motor North America. We'll have the athletes share their thoughts with a few questions a little later, but first, I'd love to turn it over to Mr. Rocky Harris. Rocky, it's all yours.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it. Your commitment to paratriathlon and the adaptive sport community is truly unmatched. As a USA Triathlon Hall of Famer, as you mentioned, and a USA Triathlon Foundation trustee, we just appreciate all you do for the sport and advancing it. So thanks so much for being here. It means a lot to all of us.
Thanks,
we're proud to bring these 17 incredibly talented athletes to Tokyo for the Paralympics. Congrats, athletes. I know that you're going to be hearing a lot of that over the next few days and coming weeks. Our elite athletes have really been the picture of perseverance on their way to this moment. You've stayed focused throughout the postponement of the games, which I know is challenging, and all the other challenges that you're faced with the pandemic that we all dealt with. Thanks so much for sticking in there, staying strong, and continuing to compete at the highest levels. We at USA Triathlon are seen as the leaders in parasport in the United States because we've been 100% committed to paratriathlon as one of the national governing bodies that made the decision to make both the Olympic sport and the Paralympic sport equal, and to treat them the same way and integrate all of our resources to provide equal support to our para athletes. Our commitment to paratriathlon is evident throughout our organization from top to bottom, including our board of directors who selected an elite paratriathlete as the chair of our board. And for the first time ever, an elite athlete was selected to that position. And thanks to our partnership with Toyota, we've been able to create the largest prize purse ever for our paratriathlon national championship. And we'll continue to advocate that paratriathletes should receive prize money for major races, that the media broadcasts of their races should be high quality, and that they receive access to the best training environments in the world. Those are things that are non-negotiable for us at USA Triathlon, and we're going to force the rest of the world to step up the standards, and we know they will because they're ready for it. The USA Triathlon Foundation has been critical to the future advancements of paratriathlon in the United States and really across the globe. Our foundation is committed to growing the sport at all levels, including inspiring adaptive athletes to participate in triathlon. And look at all these role models right here for all those kids out there. Here are your role models. And our foundation also ignites the dreams of Olympic and Paralympic hopefuls. So, we just really appreciate the donors who've contributed to help support the goals and aspirations of these athletes. We also want to thank the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee, who really stands out around the world as focused and advocates for paratriathlon and parasport. The theme of USA Triathlon's Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic campaign is called Tokyo United. And it's really to show our support, all of our support for these elite athletes, and show the support now during Tokyo and after they finish winning medals in Tokyo and competing at the highest level. And I encourage everyone to show your support by tuning into the Paralympic Games this August, which will receive more primetime broadcast coverage on NBC than ever before. If you've never had the chance to witness an elite paratriathlon race, you will be blown away by the talent and speed of our nation's best athletes. I've always been drawn to the Olympic and Paralympic Games because of the inspiring stories about each athlete in their quest to reach their athletic goals. This especially rings true at the Paralympics, but I strongly urge everyone to shift your attention away from primarily focusing on these athletes' inspiring personal stories and focus more on their incredible athleticism, their will to compete and win, and their desire to represent the United States on the biggest stage in sports. We are so proud of all these athletes, and we can't wait to cheer them on in Tokyo. And with that, I'll hand it over to our Paralympic director, Amanda Duke-Boulay. Take it from here, Amanda.
Thanks, Rocky. First, I want to say a huge congratulations to all the athletes with us today. I'm thrilled for each and every one of you, and I can't wait to see you achieve your dreams in Tokyo. After a 4-medal showing in para-triathlon's debut at the Rio 2016 Games, U.S. para-triathletes have continued to raise the game, and now heading into Tokyo, this crew is faster, stronger, and more competitive than ever before. This team brings a wealth of experience and achievement into Tokyo with a combined 4 Paralympic Triathlon medals, 32 Para-Triathlon World Championship medals, and 9 world titles. We also have a multi-talented group of athletes who boast a combined 10 Paralympic Games medals in sports other than triathlon. We have 2 U.S. Olympians in our ranks as visually impaired guides. Andy Potts, who competed in the Athens 2004 Games and now guides Kyle Kuhn, and Greg Billington, who competed at the Rio 2016 Games and now guides Brad Snyder. We have 4 U.S. military veterans, 3 cancer survivors, and so many other remarkable backgrounds and stories. I'm so grateful these athletes all found their way to para-triathlon. They have already made us proud, and no doubt they'll do so again in Tokyo. I want to take a moment to thank USA Triathlon's corporate partners, especially Toyota, whose commitment to the Paralympic program has been remarkable. Toyota is the title sponsor of our U.S. Para-Triathlon national team, development team, and the resident team based at the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Training Center in Colorado Springs, and directly sponsors select Team Toyota para-triathletes. I'd now like to hand it over to Deidre DeLilly of Toyota, who leads the U.S. team responsible for strategy development, production, event activation, and auto shows across Toyota's full sponsorship portfolio, inclusive of Toyota's partnership with Olympic and Paralympic, NGBs, and Team USA athletes. Deidre?
Thank you so much, Amanda, and thank you everyone at USA Triathlon for the opportunity to be part of today's incredible announcement. I know I can speak on behalf of everyone at Toyota when I say I'm honored and I am humbled to be part of this moment in time. We're so grateful to have a partner in USA Triathlon who shares a passion and a commitment to elevating the Paralympic movement. And with just 7 weeks between now and opening ceremony of the Paralympic Games in Tokyo, I'm so thrilled to be here with each and every one of you today to celebrate this incredible group of athletes who have been named to the 2020 U.S. Paralympic Triathlon team. I am beaming with admiration and couldn't be prouder that we at Toyota get to play just a small role in your journey. And speaking of your journey, what a year it has been. Your road to Tokyo has been filled with so much uncertainty, so many obstacles, so many challenges, but through it all, you remained resilient and pushed through every barrier that came your way. And all of that hard work is paying off today. So congratulations on officially being named to Team USA. I can't wait to watch you compete. Know you'll have a pack of Toyota employees, dealers, friends, and families cheering you on from home. And a special shout out to our Team Toyota athletes, Melissa Stockwell and Brad Snyder. We are so proud of you. So to the full 2020 U.S. Paralympic Triathlon team, on behalf of all of us at Toyota, congratulations. We will be here cheering you on every step of the way as you go for the gold in Tokyo. Best of luck to you all. Bob, back to you.
Thank you, Deidre. I know USA Triathlon and the athletes appreciate all that you and Toyota are doing to support Team USA. Thanks again for all that. Now I get the chance to chat with some of our athletes. And I want to start out with our 2 defending Paralympic gold medalists, Grace Norman and Elisa Seeley. Grace Norman won a gold medal at Rio 2016 at Paralympic Games in triathlon, as well as a bronze 400 meter on the track, 6-time world championship medalist, and 2-time world champion. She's graduated nursing school in 2020 and is now a first-year nurse in South Bend, Indiana. Grace, first of all, congratulations. What's it like trying to balance nursing school, triathlon, and NCAA track and field at Cedarville University? And what traits do you think you've gained from para-triathlon that will help you in your nursing career?
Yeah, it's definitely very difficult to balance everything. I am glad that those nursing school years are over. It was a lot trying to balance nursing school and run track and cross country and still be very competitive on the international level for triathlon, and then still kind of have a social life in there somewhere. It was definitely difficult, but I learned so much about time management through nursing school, and it's been an extreme help after graduation going into this year of being able to be solely focused on triathlon, being able to time manage and get everything. It's not as crazy as trying to balance everything, but still with nutrition and hydration and recovery and then all the different workouts and being places. That's definitely been a trait that I've taken from nursing into triathlon and from triathlon into nursing.
Love it. Congratulations again, Grace. It's going to be great to have you back in Tokyo. Lisa Seeley, 2016 Paralympic gold medalist and 3-time world champion, won the ESPY Award in 2018 after an undefeated elite season. Lisa, you've battled some difficult health challenges in the last 6 months. Can you share a little bit about what you faced in late 2020, early 2021, and how you were able to work your way back to race form to take silver at America's Triathlon Para Championships in Pleasant Prairie?
Thanks, Bob. Yes, the past year has been a challenging one for me. I was diagnosed with a deadly infection and blood clots in my heart. But you know what? Right now, I'm focusing on moving forward. And like Rocky said, it's not about our personal stories, it's about our athleticism and what I've done to get back to training and focusing on the end goal, which is defending that medal that I earned in Rio and Tokyo. And so I've showed up every day with no excuses and that same goal and that same thing in mind every morning and every night. And I'm going to continue doing so for the next 7 weeks. So I set myself up the best I can to perform to my level of expectations and to be able to make myself proud.
So Alyssa, a quick follow-up. So when I think back to one of the greatest moments in triathlon history, watching you and Haley and Melissa on the podium at Rio, September 11th, 2016, how special was that for you?
It was an incredible moment, and it's exciting that all three of us have the opportunity to repeat that. We all know that I think this time it'll be much more challenging, but we're up for that challenge, and hopefully we'll see 3 flags raised in Tokyo.
Love it. Now we'll go to Brad Snyder, U.S. Navy veteran, 5-time Paralympic gold medalist, 7-time medalist overall from London 2012 and Rio 2016. In swimming, Brad made the switch to para triathlon in 2018, earned a key win at the selection event, June 27th in Pleasant Prairie. Brad, what's been the biggest challenge? You go from one sport, all you needed was a swimsuit and goggles, and then you decide you're going to schlep around with a bike and wetsuit and all this other stuff. What's been the biggest challenge of making that transition from swimming to tri?
Yeah, thanks, Bob. It's a great question. And you hit the nail on the head. Something I didn't necessarily appreciate about swimming before making the transition to triathlon was just how, controlled it is. It's an exercise of control. There's very few variables. It's a swimsuit, it's goggles, it's a 50-meter pool. The 50, the 100, and the 400 are something that I can really exercise quite a bit of control over, knowing my strokes, knowing my taps, knowing my turns, all that sort of stuff. And being able to execute on that is one singular thing. Moving into triathlon, it is an exercise of chaos. There are so many variables, from the race course to the weather. The biggest challenge, I think, is the logistical challenge of getting a tandem through the airport to somewhere in Europe or in Asia, and getting a working bike to the starting line. So it's been a challenge. There's been a lot of lessons learned, a couple broken bikes, some knowledge on the Di2 system that I didn't have before, but really excited to have that great race a couple weeks ago, and even more excited to take those lessons learned into having a great race in Tokyo alongside this amazing team.
So how hard is it to find the right guide, right? That's got to be the toughest part of this.
Yeah, it's an immense challenge, and what makes it even more challenging is that the standard of the guide internationally is elevated and elevated and elevated, and now you look, we have 2 of the greatest triathletes of all time guiding for our visually impaired athletes. So I think it's really cool to see the sport mature to that level, but it's incredibly competitive. It is very difficult, but we're in a really great place with the team that we have between Andy, Greg, Jillian, Kirsten, and everyone else. So I'm really grateful that they're willing to prolong their careers and step in and help us out.
Love it. And I'll go to Kendall Gretsch, three-time para-triathlon world champion, undefeated in the sport from June 2014 through July 2018, 4 years. Also multi-sport talent, winning 2 gold medals, Nordic skiing at Pyeongchang 2018, Paralympic Winter Games. Kendall, through your time in the Paralympic movement, what can you tell us about the increasing talent, both in the US and the international field, and what keeps you motivated to continue competing at the very highest level?
Yeah, I think that's been one of the most exciting things for me in my time in Paralympic sport, is just seeing how much the field has grown. So we've had a lot of really talented athletes from other sports, just like Brad, come in and find triathlon and fall in love with it. And I think that's just been so great for the sport, because the level of competition is raised, and I think that's what makes it so motivating to keep competing, because when you're surrounded by amazing athletes, you just want to push yourself even harder, and it makes it a little bit easier to find to push yourself and find that motivation. So yeah, it's been awesome to see such growth in the sport.
How do you balance it? Do you take a little break after the summer season before you get into Nordic, and how do the sports complement each other?
Yeah, I mean, I think they kind of go hand in hand. They're both endurance sports, and so I can keep up that cardiovascular fitness throughout the year and in a racing mindset all year long. It's just a little bit of a transition in terms of sport specific strength. So yeah, I'll take some time in between the seasons and have like a week or so reset, and then really just kind of get back in. And yeah, I think it helps keep myself motivated and mentally fresh, because if you're getting a little bit worn out on one, it's usually time to switch over.
Love it. Now we'll go to Haley Dance, silver medalist from 2016 Paralympic Games in Rio, 6-time world championship medalist who earned a key win at Pleasant Prairie on June 27th. Haley, tell us about that win in Pleasant Prairie. What made the difference for you in training over the last year and a half? And how did it feel to throw down your fastest ever sprint triathlon?
Yeah, well, that race in Pleasant Prairie was pretty incredible for me, just because it did take place right around the corner from where I grew up. And so I was able to share that finish with so many family and friends that came out to support. And just, being able to share such a milestone event with them really meant the world to me. But, so much went into that performance. I think the season ended in 2019, and I took a really objective look at everything that I was doing, from my training to my equipment, nutrition, mental game. And I kind of revamped everything, including making some pretty significant changes to both my bike setup and my running prosthetic, including completely changing the way that I run. It was definitely a big risk to take and a big challenge that, took about a year for me to kind of work through. But, Pleasant Prairie was where it really kind of all came together, and I was able to see that all those risks that I took really were worth it.
So I've interviewed a lot of Olympic and Paralympic athletes, and when I asked them about, okay, you were bronze or you were silver last time, and if you're going to be on a podium, you sort of don't want to be looking up at anybody. So I'm guessing that as you head into Tokyo, you'd sort of like to have the top spot on the podium.
I mean, that's certainly the goal. Like everyone has kind of touched on, the field is only getting more competitive. And, doing so is certainly going to be a challenge, but, that's what we're all here for, right? It's to take on the challenge. And yeah, if I can do what I know that I'm capable of and do my very best, the hope is that I'll be up there.
All right. Now we're going to Kyle Kuhn and Andy Potts. Kyle, the 2021 World Triathlon Para Series Yokohama gold medalist, 2019 U.S. National Championship runner-up, guided by 2004 U.S. Olympian and one of the most decorated Ironman athletes in history, Mr. Andy Potts. Kyle, you've made a lot of progress since you started in 2018, earned your first elite victory earlier this year. What are the pieces that have come together for you recently, and how important is that athlete-guide relationship to performing at the highest level?
Oh man, yeah, it's been one heck of a wild ride the last last couple of years. I think a big part and piece of that really has come together in the last year or so was focusing on controlling what I can control, focusing on getting healthy, and working at treating this sport like a profession, and bringing in someone like Andy Potts has really helped teach me that, and that really alludes to the guide athlete relationship, because it is not we talk a lot about we're super grateful and super thankful for our guides lending us their eyes, but it's so much more than that. Triathlon is so often seen as an individual pursuit, as an individual sport, but guys like people like Brad, Liz, Amy, and I, like we compete in a team sport, because when I cross the line, whether that's first, second, third, or way off the podium, I'm crossing the line arm in arm with with my teammate Andy Potts, or when Brad's crossing the line, he's crossing with Greg Billington, and same with Liz and Jillian, or Amy and Kirsten. We are so fortunate to compete in a team sport that is so often seen as an individual pursuit, and I'm so grateful to get to learn from people like Andy and guides that have come before him, and hopefully we can, as blind athletes, we can shed a little knowledge of our own, however slight, to our guides. And it's one of those things where, look, when you team up, you can be so much more than an individual.
So Kyle, I've heard that you've been trying to work with Andy on his swimming a little bit, that he's been slowing you down. So have you given him some?
I recommended that Andy work on his breaststroke, and we need to work on his side stroke a little bit, I think. I think his butterfly is a little rusty, so but no, Andy is if there's one thing that I just hope I don't slow Andy down too much in the swim and he doesn't get bored.
So Andy, what does it mean to you to represent the U.S. again?
I'm sorry, Bob. There was some voiceover there.
I mean, you represented the U.S. back in 2004, and I remember us chatting about this, that your goal had always been to be the best 1,500 meter guy in the world. And on that day, you were first out of the water. You won the 1,500. Now you get another opportunity to come to Paralympics. What does this mean to you? You get another shot at this.
Each year that I'm in the sport, I learn something more about myself, something more about the sport itself. This past year has been a huge learning curve for me, learning, how to communicate in the most efficient and accurate way possible. It's actually helped my relationship with my wife. So thank you, Kyle. It really, I'm blown away. My mind has been expanded by this team. I see the work that they put in on a daily basis. I see how they push each other. And it is going to be a big team effort in Tokyo. We're going to get a chance to bond in pre-camp, and then at the race scene in Tokyo, I can only see us having each other's backs and the wind at each other's sail because of the teamwork involved. And I'm really excited for everybody in this Brady Bunch picture that I'm seeing right now. And working with Kyle is just fantastic. This sport has so much more to offer than swim, bike, and run. And, we can reach people, that we can make people care about triathlon and about sports and about personal development and about personal pursuit through each and everybody's story here. So I'm just truly thankful.
So Andy, how much fun is this? Because you've been an Ironman guy for this last number of years, and it's like, okay, let's go full gas for 750, 12.3, 3.1. Man, it's got to be a little, your system must be going, what's going on here?
I think it's going to help my overall game for Ironman just because of the different, we're playing one against the other. And Kyle's a good testament to this. When I push on the bike, I kind of whine a little bit and I moan because I just never hit those intensities with the long distance training and racing. But with this sprint, I mean, it's a true testament of like pure power, but also can you focus long enough? Because it's not exactly, in triathlon, it's a funny sport because we call something a sprint that takes an hour.
Yeah.
In swimming, a sprint is 20 seconds and running a sprint is 10 seconds. Yeah. In triathlon, it's an hour. So you still have to be smart and you still have to really work that engine and mind. So it's a great challenge.
All right. I want to thank all you guys. The energy in the Zoom call is palpable. You can bet I'll be watching the TV, watching all you guys in Tokyo. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Be sure to follow along with USA Triathlon's Tokyo United campaign at ustriathlon.org and on USA Triathlon's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok pages. You'll be watching Andy dancing on TikTok. That's going to be a lot of fun. USA Triathlon's official Tokyo 2020 media and fan guide will also be published in the coming weeks, so stay tuned. Lastly, for the media tuning in, we have a media availability for women's teams starting immediately after this call, and for the men starting at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. If you're a member of the media who is not yet signed up, would like to join, contact communications@usatriathlon.org. They'll get you the Zoom link. We'll drop that email address in the comments for you. Thanks again, and go Team USA. Thank you all for taking so much time. I am so jazzed to see all of you. Congrats on going to Tokyo, everyone.